right, so I don't want to talk too much on this, but I ran across this news story and felt it was somewhat on topic. This story comes from Fox 5, Las Vegas, and I put the link in the chat. Hopefully it showed up. And I'm not going to be talking over this. I'm just going to let it play. This dude does mention ShotSpotter, which is kind of interesting. And on top of that, this drone tech he's working on. So let's hear from Sideshow Bob here.
This is Blake Resnick. At 21 years old, he is the visionary behind one of the most advanced drones in the world.
Giving eyes and ears places that are too dangerous to hit a person.
Smashing windows and finding suspects.
This is law enforcement. Please come out with your hands up.
His technology inspired by 1 October.
In an event like that, time really matters.
The deadliest mass shooting in modern history.
I unfortunately knew a lot of people who were there, friends and family.
At a country music festival here in Vegas. Resnick grew up in Las Vegas and was just a teen when he watched nearly 60 people die at the hands of a lone shooter.
So the whole thought was like, man, if you could build a technology that could give like great situational awareness and knowledge about what's actually going on.
That's when his partnership with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department was born.
Yeah, I cold called the SWAT team. I mean, so I went online and I looked up their phone number, literally cold called them. I was probably 17 or 18 at the time, so I'm surprised they took me seriously, but they did. And we ended up grabbing lunch and just kind of had a conversation.
That conversation, reviewing the challenges first responders faced that night, set flight to what ultimately became his company Brink Drone's first product.
Vegas Metro has an area command like quite close to the Mandalay Bay. So ShotSpotter systems, basically this big like microphone array around the valley, would have heard the gunshots and given like a rough GPS coordinate to where this was all happening. Already super helpful. From there, on top of like that police station, the doors on one of these nests would open up, drone would launch and fly to that exact location. I mean, if it's that close, potentially literally in 45 seconds. You would be able to look around and identify, the nature of the incident.
To this day, Vegas Metro Police used the drone he developed. And since then, Brink has sold drones to close to 100 other agencies and governments all over the world in just 10 months as a company. Here's how it works.
What you're seeing now is a live feed from the Lemur S drone. Now, this is great in situations for law enforcement. When they're out in the field, they can see what's happening on the drone camera. And the camera is on the drone going into enclosed spaces. So for example, this is a very dark space. And let's say there's a suspect who is armed and dangerous in this environment. We see a dummy here on the camera. It would be able to sense where that person is using night vision in dark spaces. Now, a lot of times SWAT team members are doing the dangerous kind of peeking into attics. This would help save lives so that a first responder doesn't have to go into a dangerous situation like this.
Resnick says this is the only drone in the world with a fully functional two-way audio system. The responder can dial in with a cell phone.
This is a speaker on the bottom of the drone, and these two things are microphones.
Most commonly used for hostage and barricade negotiations.
This is law enforcement. We are using a drone and trying to establish two-way communication with you.
I'm not coming out.
We will sit here as long as it takes.
If you're able to establish communications between a crisis negotiator and a suspect, the overwhelming majority of the time, it ends peacefully.
Most drones rely on GPS to determine their location.
The problem is you fly underground, or frankly, even under a roof, you lose your GPS signal.
But not the Brink drones.
Our answer to that has largely been LiDAR systems.
It's these LiDAR systems that started quite the buzz. And even appealed to officials in Florida who just last June, when responding to the condo collapse in Surfside, asked for Resnick's help.
I got a call from the SWAT commander in Miami.
Within hours, the Brink team was on a plane to Florida to execute missions inspecting the remaining building and rubble.
Really, it was about determining, like, is this 14-story building going to fall on 100 first responders looking for survivors?
The drone designed for durability in disaster situations like Surfside.
So if it's on its back, these tools spin up in the opposite direction of what they normally do, and that provides enough thrust to literally flip us over.
Resnick says he was proud to provide some value in Surfside's recovery and hopes his latest prototype will someday replace the need for first responder helicopters on various calls.
Find, every car with an abducted child in it from an Amber Alert, and find every lost hiker and bring global emergency response times down to seconds.
He hopes to put drones in interconnected nests like these on the roofs of every police and fire station around the world.
Why can't these types of aircraft also carry, Narcan? Life-saving drug for overdoses. So if you do get a 911 call in for an OD, you deliver the drug that will save that person's life in 45 seconds. I think that's the promise of this technology. I think it's going to change public safety, period. Police, fire, emergency medical, all of it.
And if his upward momentum continues, the UNLV alum just might pull it off. Brink just raised $25 million in Series A funding, with no plans of stopping now.
All right. So that's about all I wanted to show on this one. Aside from the creepy long shots there in the beginning and the end. It was a pretty good article. I felt it was topical, so I want to share that. Everyone be safe out there.